You're famous. Beside McAllister's Butchers.
Yes, aye.
That's good, you did that well that time.
Well, the question that I was asked a lot.
You didn't carry on the farming?
No, well, what happened was I was the eldest and there were no electric at the time, and my father and Hughie Wilson at work they stayed in the field to dark practically. There were no 40-hour week then, and I was my mother's helper, and I had to kind of look after. My brother Tom was a year and a month younger than me, and my sister, she was 2 years younger, so I had to sort of care for them, and while my mother milked 12 cows behind.
See?
And then as Tom got up, he got out with my father and that sort of thing, and I had to run messages for my mother and things like that, and he was a farmer more than me. But then when I come 14, I left the school. My father got me a job in Gordon Esther's in Bushane Street, as much work as you like for 17 sixpence a week. Well then, while I was in there, the boss's brother, he had a grocery van in the country, and he had to go for an operation, but nobody would take that on. So I just had got the licence, and I says, if you could trust me to drive that van, I'll do it for you. So accordingly so, I was out and done the run for him while he was off. Then back into the shop, and I come home one day, and my father had the weekly paper. He says, look, there's a wee van run for sale. If you seem to do all right when you're out now, and we would buy you that. So they bought me the van run, and it was a real bad van. I had 2 middling years. I couldn't afford a battery, and then I was getting the bread from at the late Frank Boyd's, and Frank says to me, he says, don't you go away, I speak to you. So I says, I hope Frank's no complaining about my part in the front of his place here to get the bread man. He says, I hear you're interested in another van. I says, aye, that's right. Well, he says, if you want to lose every colour of sleep you're getting, if you want to lose for £20 you're making, the sooner you get it the better. For he says, I had that experience. He says, forget about it, gather up your £1 and buy yourself a wee shop. So I took Frank's advice, and as I say, in the meantime we got married, and I had got a cheap house in a Huckle, and I come home one day and Margaret says, there's a place in Bushane for sale, and she says, I have been on with your dad already, and she says, we're going to go and see it. So we went and seen it and put an offer on. We offered them what they asked for it, and there were nobody else showed any interest in it.
That's not where you are now, is it?
Sterling's, for when he was there.
Yes,
Aye. The money in them time for him to buy the shop and the house and the yard, 9,500.
You kept on your delivery?
Oh, well, the thing was, like, I kept that on because Margaret and Mavis Bell, well, Mavis Gibbon, she was there. Mavis come to work to us. And
you're talking about where your shop is now?
Well, where my shop is now was Bob Dawson's hot photo you hear there, and Bertie Weir's, and there were another wee woman left beside them.
But I'm going back further, Dixon's.
Oh, Dixon's was for Harry Sloane was. Yes.
But then you moved into Harry's.
Aye, well, we were where Mavis, we were where Sterling's house, where Winnie is there now. Yeah. Well, then in the meantime, we had bought Harry's and had opened that as a hardware, because John Logan's about now had closed, and there were no hardware, there were nothing about. So my sister called me one evening, she says, don't you go anywhere this evening. She says, there's a boy coming to see you, but at 9 o'clock before he comes. I says, what do you mean? She says, it's Dr. Robinson. She says, he has a business. She says, he's my doctor at Castle Dawson. And she says, he has a business there.
Doctor who?
Ramsey.
Yeah, right.
He's one of the famous. And she says, his partner has died, but she says, he's wanting money, and she says he would be interested in you buying this property between your two shops. So accordingly come, and we bought the existing shop, the new shop as there now, and then that gave us the ground up at the back for a car park.
You didn't buy it from Harry Sloan then?
No, I bought the hardware from Harry Sloan. That was Harry Sloan owned where the hardware shop is now, plus the yard at the back.
Yeah.
But then that's other where the new shop is there. The ground belonging to it went right up to the back. So that gave us the whole thing to make.
There were big gardens and all that.
There were, and greenhouses and that sort of thing. Well, then go back to the shop, then we were getting busier and busier, and we had a sale property acquired, so we discussed it, and we says, if we don't do something, somebody else will, So we demolished them old houses, and the late Andy Hayes, present Colin Couples, and my late Uncle Bob was the three labourers, but they done an awful lot of work. But Andy put up a notice in front of the hoarding, main contractors, ABC Builders. So Dr. Mercer was up the street, and she was looking at this. She says, ABC Builders. She says, you might have given it to some of the local boys. She says, plenty of local boys. She says, I thought you'd again some of them in turn. I says, I don't think we could go much more local. I says, for says I made sure it was all clients of yours that got the job. ABC Builders, never heard of them. I says, Andy, Bob and Colin. She said, I'd like to see the job finished. So we got the job finished.
Well, you've got the place running well, and your yard is priceless, really.
Well,
if that yard ever goes, Shane's going to die.
Well, I planned it that way, that you'd have a back entrance, so like whilst the main street's better, it's handy going out the side street, and that sort of thing.
Oh, that's if like that back way, it'd be paralysed completely.
Well, there's no sign of anything like that happening.
That's right. It's very, very well planned.
Well, I'd been about all my lifetime, and I sort of felt I knowed what wasn't something really fancy. When it come to planning the front of the shop, the architect says, I said, I don't want something you get in Belfast. I says, I want a country front, and it worked out all right.
Going back to your childhood, where did you go to school?
I went to Hazelbank School till I was 10.
Is that the old one before it was burnt down?
The old school, John Swan, Miss Francie.
Yes.
Miss Francie lodged with a lady in Brusane. She come on a Monday from Kelswater to Hazelbank, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, she stayed down with this woman in Brusane, and then went home on Friday night and come back Monday.
Was the old school down beside the church there?
No, the old school's for the existing school has.
That was the one that you reckon? Yeah. I thought there was a school at the church one time. There used to be steps up into the...
Well, the school that I was at, there were sort of 3 steps up into it there, and the toilets was right up at the top of the yard. That's what they were.
It's got the Victorian postbox still there.
Yes, and they would have got playing cricket or rounders at a certain time of the year, because there were plenty of nuts in the bushes up
the Hazelbank, yes.
And you had to sort of get the ball up and there, and then
give you an excuse.
Up to look for the ball, by the way.
Let me ask you, was your teacher Mr. Craig?
Oh, that was he. He was before.
Was he before you?
He was before me.
He was the one that organised the choir.
That's right.
The famous choir.
Yes, sure. And then John Swan followed him. Yeah. And Mr. Craig's time, it was a Miss Francie for Kelswater. She came, and she lodged in Brusane. She read the Bible for Brusane from Monday to Friday, and then she went back to home to Kelswater Friday evening.
Back, of course.
And that's John Swan there, and
was Sergeant Swan used to have?
I don't know. I don't think it's any connection. Yeah. No. Well, That's me there. That's my brother Tom. Johnny McLaughlin, he's in Scotland. That's a Maller, that's James Maller, Hal Hamilton, Wally McCrory, Robert James Maller, John Boyle, Albert McCulloch, Paddy Crooks. Now, we see, that's my brother David there, and that's a Maller, and that's David Maller. He's living out with Kilwater at the minute. There's Albert Graham, and that's Paddy Crooks, the late Paddy. And that's Bertie Merton, I'm not so sure there. That's a Maller there. That's Sam McCulloch. And I'm not so sure who that there is. There's Kathleen Maller. That's a girl Bones. That's Agnes Boyle. That's Betty McCulloch. Mrs. Elliot now. Agnes Ann Maller. Jean Maller. Jean Fleming. Betty Steenson. Agnes Ann Maller. Jean Maller. And that's a girl Bones. Margaret McClantic. And Molly Boner. Lally Maller. A girl Bones. I'm not sure there. That's what I can mind of them.
That's pretty good, James.
When you wanted to serve your time in any business, you had to pay. But when I started, we were at the stage where you got my wages at the beginning was 17 sixpence a week, which is 87.5 pence. And when I was there 1 month, the boss says to me on Saturday morning, he says, I want to see you at 6 o'clock in the office. A long day for me. I tried every shop in the town to see if I was looking for work or if I thought I was getting paid off. 6 o'clock came, I was in waiting on him. Right, he says, you here a month? I says, I am. Can you keep up this time in the morning? Oh, I says, certainly. And he said, well, I'm going to raise you £1 a week, so I got half a crown of raise instead of a sec.
Yeah. How did you get into Ballymena? You were living up at Achercully, what?
No, at this time, I was at Achercully, we were 10. When I was 10, we moved over to Rathkenny. Yes. I was 4.5 miles, I rode the bicycle in the morning.
You thought nothing of it?
Huh?
You thought nothing of it?
Oh, it was a done thing, you know. I mean, I rode the bicycle, and the fella beside me, Jackson Adams, having me right on together.
Jackson, yeah. But you wouldn't have lived anywhere else, would you?
No, well, no, I keep saying that I left in a good time, you know.
Yeah, we all did.
Everybody had time for other, and if you could help anybody a wee bit, you done it, and they'd have done the same for yourself. And we always got what done it.
There we go, now that's good like that, lovely, nice and happy again, now here we go. Lovely, that's nice, excellent.
Look at that, nice bits of shortbread and all.
We're very proud of that. As we said yesterday, we're not only proud of 70 years achievement, we're proud of him each and every day. he has our wee daddy, but I'm sure Daddy would like to say something because he's very thankful to have achieved these 70 years, but with Mama behind him and all the dedicated and loyal staff. So just on behalf of the McNeills, I would like to say we're very proud, Daddy, of you, but I'm sure you want to say something yourself.
Well, really,
Now that you are a TV celebrity.
no, I'm no TV celebrity, but all I want simply to say is there's a lot of people to thank. It's those who have man all down in the 70 years, and it's those who served them down through the 70. Sadly, there's some of them not with us, owing to age and things like that, but we appreciate that every day we've had together. This has been the right hand support here.
I think the officers were in the front.
And all this way now, here we go. Now make a really big cheer. Now come on. Here we go after 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
This gentleman's late father, Dr. Simpson, was the main of me being appointed the sub-postmaster of the museum.
Very good.
It was him that spoke for us.
Well, James, have a great day. Congratulations for your
All right.
Good. There we go. That was good fun, wasn't it? Yeah. All right.
Get what you have. Looks so wet for 7.
There's video, that's his video going there. Just a video.
Just